Hello and welcome to this short presentation on the Balanced Scorecard Performance Assessment Template. This is useful for those employers who are currently using the Balanced Scorecard or intend to use the Balanced Scorecard. So I'll take you through this template so that you can see the parameters within this particular template. I will not go through the process of goal setting. That will be for another day. So I'll take you through the template quickly. So when you look at this template, the first part that you see here is where you put your name or where you put the scorecard owner, in this case Memory Nguwi, position head of human resources. The scorecard is for 2017. It can be Q1 2017, Q2 2017, any period that you prefer. Then on your right, you will see that we have got weightings for each perspective. Like I indicated earlier on, the weights for each perspective preferably should be 25 for each perspective, depending on level. If you are talking about a head of department, we prefer that they have the 25% in each of these perspectives. But this is for demonstration, so I'll use just different weights for this particular demonstration. Let's now go into, maybe we're still on the weights. You will still find that the weights come from, are related to each measure that is in the scorecard. So when you put your measures, it will also ask you to put the weight, the allocated weight for each measure. So if you go back to this scorecard, the first column that you see here is a perspective, and this has got all the perspectives: financial, customer, internal business process, and learning and growth. Those are the main perspectives that you find in a scorecard. Then the next column is your goal. This is where you put your goals. Some people prefer to call them objectives. This is where you put them. Then we've also got another column where we, for certain departments or for certain roles that are senior, we ask them to be able to put the company goal that they are supporting, so that there is alignment of goals throughout the whole organization. For example, managed staff costs could actually be supporting the overall goal of staff rationalization within a business. The same applies to reducing labor litigation, reduce recruitment costs, reduce leave liability. All these could be supporting a cost alignment goal within the organization at a top level. Also remember that some of the goals could actually be supporting other goals within other departments at the same level as the head of human resources. Okay, so you can complete that one. Then the next column is the measure. Under measure, this is what some people prefer to call key performance indicators. So these are the things that you look at to see whether you are winning or not. So there are various measures that vary with the level, they vary with the role that you are in. So in this case, if I were to go back to these goals, manage staff cost, the measure is staff cost to income. Then reduce labor litigation, the measure is litigation cost as a percentage of payroll. Reduce recruitment cost as a percentage of payroll. Reduce leave liability as a percentage of payroll. And remember, these are not exhaustive. You can have more goals there. But what is crucial is to prioritize the goals so that you don't have a crowded scorecard which has got administrative and mundane kind of goals. We are looking at strategic goals that are supporting the business. Then the next column will find that we've got a unit of measurement. The unit of measurement, you are trying to indicate assuming someone looks at a scorecard, you want them to be able to know, are you using dollars, are you using percentage, are you using days, what are you using to measure? Is it tons, is it grams? All those things are crucial so that people who do not necessarily understand the job can also relate to what you are measuring. The reporting frequency is how often do we track this measure? Okay, most people for certain measures find that their monthly reports, in some cases they produce weekly reports, in some cases they produce monthly reports, in other cases it's quarterly reports. So this is just for reporting purposes. Then target period, your target period, you're saying this measure that I have under measure here, for example, staff cost to income, what I should achieve it within what particular period. Okay, so we're saying the period is annually. And this period can be varied to quarterly, to half yearly, depending on what you want to do with your performance management system. Some people evaluate performance on a quarterly basis, which means this target period we have to change it to quarterly. Or alternatively, what you need to do is to have your yearly scorecard, which you then break down into quarterly if you want to measure performance quarterly. I want to take you to the best targets and stretch targets. Your targets, what they mean is that a target is the desired level of performance. And your baseline target just signifies the minimum threshold of performance that is required for any role. Anything below that is considered poor performance or substandard performance. And if someone is achieving below the baseline target, basically they are eating into the value that the business has already created. Then the stretch target, we are saying over and above the minimum that we have set for ourselves. What else can you give you? What more can you give me? The stretch target is the maximum that is possible. within the circumstances. So all the target, both of them, the baseline target and the stretch target, must be reviewed in the context of your business and in the context of the economic environment to see whether they're achievable or not. There's no point in having targets that are not achievable. Then we go to column number, the other column on actuals. This can actually be empty. I can take out all those figures. You can see the weighted rating is gone, the flag is gone. So what will happen, for example, if I go back to manage staff cost, you can see that staff cost to income, the unit is that, the reporting frequent, the period target period, and the baseline target is 32%, and the stretch target is 28%. I want to emphasize here, where you want a reduction in a particular measure, your baseline will be higher than your stretch, because what you're aiming is a downward trend. So in this case, we want less staff cost than more staff costs. So that's why you find that we've got 32% of revenue going to staff cost as a minimum, and 28%. If you are doing well, our staff cost should be within a range of 28% to income. So if I put an actual of, let's say for example, 35, you'll see that the flag changes to red. This flag changes to red. Why? Because our staff costs are above the minimum threshold of 32%. If I were to come here and put 20, you'll see the flag changes to green, and your weighted rating, also changes. So I can go on and put the weights are already there, so I can go on and put the performance there. You can see I go to recruitment costs as a percentage of payroll. If I put 15, you see it goes to red. Then leave liability, we are on 35% of payroll, which is normally what we find in most organizations. So you can see overall, on the goals that I've got more weight, I've got this one, or staff cost, which I'm doing well, but I'm not doing extremely well on the leave liability goal, where I have achieved minus 10% weighted rating and giving me a flag of red. So you can do the same for all the measures. So when it comes to time of assessment, each subordinate must just bring in their completed scorecard with actuals. The role of the boss then is to be able to verify if these actuals are correct, and there must be supporting evidence. In most cases, we actually recommend that each manager or each subordinate brings their file with supporting documents. These documents or the evidence can be found in your documents that are already internal. It could be your HR report, it could be your financial report, it could be your works council minutes. There are many sources of evidence within your business. No actual should be accepted without verifiable evidence, and this is the role of the boss to make sure that all this is verified, so that we don't cheat people, we don't over reward people who have not performed simply because they've guessed the actuals. We want them to be able to give us the actuals that are supported by evidence. We go to the next one, the customer. You do the same thing. Recruitment, recruit the right talent. Percentage of recruits passing probation is a key indicator for most HR professionals. Our baseline is 88% and our stretch is 95, and we are on 94. That's why we've got a weighted rating of 8.57 and a flag of green. Then satisfy line managers satisfaction index, you can see 95% and 100%, and the actual is 52%, and the weighted rating is minus. We're not doing well on that indicator there. Then build a strong employer brand. There are two measures there. One of them is employee engagement index. Our target is 58%. I'm assuming the 58% probably is the national average, and we want to move by about 7.65% as a maximum for this particular period of 2017. And your actual is 57%, which means you are even below the national average. So you're in minus 0.71, which gives you a red flag. Then percentage of offer letters accepted is also an indication of a good brand. If people are not accepting your offers as an employer, it means they don't believe in the brand. There could be scandals, there could be things that people don't want to associate within your business. So the higher the rejection rate of your offer letters of employment, the more you should get worried. So in this case, we've got a target of 90% as a minimum and a stretch of 100, and we've achieved an actual of 68%. Again, we're not doing very well on this one, giving us a minus achievement ratio weighted rating of -5%, giving us a red flag there, so we must worry about that. Then we go to internal process, reduce recruitment turnaround time, and under measures, we've got two types of measures: recruitment turnaround time on executives and non-managerial, and these are all given. They are also crucial. Reduce litigation cases. It's a key issue and a key indicator for HR managers. Reduce your litigation cases. And we want to reduce, if we had 20 last year, we want to reduce them by 90%, and if possible, reduce to 0, so which means we have to reduce them by 100%. What was our actual in the period under review? We had 85, which means we didn't do very well, and we got a -2.5, and giving us a red flag. Then reduce IR cases that are referred to outside bodies. For example, if you've got too many cases at NEC, too many cases at the Labour Court, too many cases with arbitrators, it's a real indicator that the HRS department is a dead department. They're not handling all IR issues properly, because your internal disciplinary process must be able to handle all credible and proper cases within the business so that they don't go outside the organization. Besides damaging your image, it's costly to have all these cases referred to outside bodies. It's cheaper internally to be able to handle all your cases. So this is a very, very, very important indicator for HR people. Then reduce number of accidents is another one. Automate key business processes could be another goal for this perspective. There are many others, like I indicated, this is not exhaustive. Then you go to learning and growth. We've got a goal to retain competent staff. Remember here, it's qualified competent staff. Competent staff, we don't want, for those that are not competent, if they go, we say good riddance. So to retain competent staff, the measure is retention. And the under retention there, the baseline is 92% of competent staff and 95% of competent staff. That's what we want to achieve. And we achieved 93% under the period under review. So it gives us 2.67 in terms of weighted rating, which gives us a green. The next one, develop staff. The measure is training hours per employee. And if you look at the training hours, it's a standard measure. It's not a very good measure though, because it's an input kind of measure. But if you benchmark, use the benchmark in your industry and in the country, that should be able to give you some kind of information. So when you look at that measure, find that 15 hours per annum per employee and 18 hours as a maximum. We are doing 11. We are not doing extremely good there. I'm assuming there may be the baseline is a reflection of the current industry benchmark. So if you are below the benchmark, you need to get worried. Then you go to develop staff product knowledge is a key goal for some businesses. Banking, if you're selling products, you need people who have got the right product knowledge across all functions. It's not necessarily in the core business, across all functions. But I don't know why sometimes people ignore this important measure, because it's an indicator. Because these people won't sell your product if they don't understand what products you're selling. And a lot of companies are missing opportunities to use their own employees as marketers, because the employees don't understand what you're selling. They don't know the service that you provide. So our measure is an input measure again, which is an average test score per employee. And our target is 75 and the stage of 85. And we're doing at 77, not badly. But our achievement ratio, you can see, is 0.6. And all this depends on the weight that has been given to that particular goal. So once you have done that, you come here, you will see that the weighted achievement ratio for learning and growth is that, -5. But overall, you got -5.88. We are not doing extremely well. You can see the red flag is there overall. The advantage of these red flags, the flagging, is that when I look at the scorecard, before even I look at the details, I can already tell whether someone is a good performer or not, and where are they struggling, which perspective are they struggling, just by the nature of the codings, the flags that are there. Green, if there are too many reds, it means we're in trouble. If they've got too many greens, it could be an indication of good performance or that the goals were set at a very low level. So these are issues that you need to interrogate as you go through your scorecard. Then we go to the last part of the presentation. If you come here, you'll see that there's a scale that is there. In this scale, you'll see anyone who scores below 0, they're a poor performer. Then anyone who scores between 0 and 20, they hold the bronze. 21 to 50, gold. 51 to 70, platinum. 71 to 100, it's your diamond. And the more important part is this one. This is where, once you've put in your actuals here, you'll find that the system automatically summarizes your performance. Under financial, you can see this person is a bronze, customer poor performer, internal business process gold, learning and growth poor, overall, which is the average of the 4, you get a poor performance rating. Easy, no cheating, nothing, not subjective, very straightforward and objective. That's exactly what you want in any performance management system, because the goal is to minimize the amount of error when you're measuring individual performance, so that you don't attribute good performance to people who have not performed, and you also don't attribute poor performance to people who have actually worked very hard. So, but you find in practice, most of the performance management system that we have, the measurement instrument is poorly designed to such an extent that people don't believe in it, and people do it as a ritual. That's what we want to avoid by developing such objective measures like this particular one. So once you have done that, you also find at the bottom of this particular scorecard, you'll find that you have discussed with the boss, you have provided the evidence, you have now agreed. This you can't change. I would emphasize that you can't change this. Why can you not change this? It's important. The reason is that whether you had the challenges or not, we are assuming the challenges must have been addressed as we were going through the course of the year or the review period, rather than coming here and say, look, okay, we didn't achieve this simply because of this, let's change the rating. The rating will not change. It's almost like saying you must accept your current status first, then you say, what do we do in the next period? That's how you treat the scorecard. I will try to handle this topic in later presentations. But there's also space for comments by the scorecard owner and also comments by the manager. When that is done, the signatures are there. You can now file this and also probably develop development plans based on this particular instrument. I find this to be very useful. Where it has been implemented properly, you find that a lot of people love this because it's very easy, one page, easy to use, evidence-based, and that's where HR must go. Thank you very much.